Superman, the Man of Steel, the Big Blue Boy Scout, the alien refugee who crashed into Kansas and ended up somehow loving journalism and mild-mannered sweaters. Over the years, Superman has punched everything from scientists to planet-invading aliens to Batman, because nothing says friendship like attempted murder in a cape. But did you know that in the 1940s, Superman took on the Ku Klux Klan? In a radio show called The Adventures of Superman, sponsored by Kellogg's Pep cereal, Superman helped to expose the KKK's secrets by punching fictional versions of them in the face really hard. The show's writers worked with a well-known civil rights activist, broadcast it to millions, membership dropped, and recruitment tanked. Truth, justice, and the American way? You bet your ass.
The past is sacred. I found more than I expected.
If you somehow don't know, Superman was created in 1938 by writer Jerry Siegel and artist Joe Shuster, two Jewish teenagers from Cleveland, Ohio. The character first appeared in Action Comics #1, published by Detective Comics Incorporated, which later became DC Comics. Also, small bone to pick there, DC literally stands for Detective Comics. So when you say DC Comics, it's Detective Comics Comics. It's like garlic aioli, right? Aioli means garlic mayonnaise. So you're saying garlic mayonnaise. What are we doing? As a society, what are we doing? Anyway, originally conceived as a villain in a short story, Superman was reimagined as a hero, an alien from the planet Krypton who crash landed on Earth and was raised as Clark Kent, drawing influences from science fiction, mythology, and strongman circus culture. Siegel and Shuster designed Superman as a symbol of hope, justice, and strength through the Great Depression. Despite the character's massive success, Siegel and Shuster sold the rights to Superman for just $130 and spent decades fighting for recognition and compensation. Today, Superman is widely regarded as one of the most influential figures in pop culture history, and to a lot of comic book nerds, including myself, he's considered the world's first superhero. Hey look, as long as we're doing intros, we may as well get through this. The Ku Klux Klan was founded in 1865 in Pulaski, Tennessee by 6 former Confederate soldiers who decided it was a good idea to start a super secret social boys club. It quickly evolved into a white supremacist terrorist organization using violence and intimidation to oppose Reconstruction efforts and suppress the rights of newly freed African Americans. The Klan rapidly spread across the South, surprise price, targeting black citizens as well as white allies with lynchings, arson, and threats. Although the federal government cracked down on the group in the early 1870s, it resurged in the 1910s, inspired in part by a racist 1915 film, The Birth of a Nation, which portrayed the Klan as heroes. I don't know if you've seen that bit in Forrest Gump where Forrest Gump's great-great-granddaddy, Nathan Bedford Forrest, was in that movie, or was the inspiration for that movie or something. I don't know, I feel like that was just brushed under the rug and is not really remembered as part of Forrest Gump, but that definitely happened. The organization has since gone through multiple waves of activity, each associated with promoting racist, anti-immigrant, and anti-Semitic ideologies, and remains classified as a hate group. Are you with me so far, okay? Superman good, racism bad. Not very cash money of them, to be completely honest. I'm just gonna, I know I was being handsome and brave just now, but not very cash money of them to do those things to people. Now, before this battle begins, let's set the stage. You honestly would have think that by the 1940s, this bullshit would have tapered off, but unfortunately for America, it kind of didn't disappear for a long time, and factions of it still exist today. F***ing up America's vibes with shitty white supremacist attitude. Meanwhile, around the same time in the 1940s, Clark Kent was living his best life, okay? Soaring above Metropolis, saving the day, going home to Lois, and just delivering some of the best journalism the Daily Planet has ever seen. And when there was true trouble afoot, dude liked to put his undies on the outside and punch bad guys in the face. Now here is where their paths cross. Like I said before, in the 1940s there was a radio show called The Adventures of Superman. Voiced by Bud Collyer, the show was a smash hit, and the writers were not afraid to get spicy. In 1946 they aired the 16-part special, The Clan of the Fiery Cross. A not so subtle dig at the Ku Klux Klan. Superman spent 2 full weeks wrecking the lives of a bunch of hooded cowards, exposing all of their secrets, rituals, and just general stupidity. All thanks to intel from activist Stetson Kennedy, who infiltrated the Ku Klux Klan personally to learn all of their rituals and secrets and blah 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 blah. It wasn't just good radio, it was the truth in tights, serving up justice. Man, they should hire me for marketing. I'm very cheap. So the story kicks off with the Clan of the Fiery Cross doing what all white supremacist groups do best, just acting like huge pieces of shit. Their target was a peaceful Cantonese family. The Lees had just moved to Metropolis, and the father of the family had been hired for a government position as a bacteriologist. The son of the family, Tommy Lee, joins the local baseball team, and after a small altercation with a boy named Chuck, he becomes pitcher and Chuck gets put on the bench. Chuck, who's being raised by a solo mother, goes home and tells his uncle that this is what's happened. Turns out his uncle is Grand Scorpion of the Clan of the Fiery Cross. So in retaliation, because white supremacist groups aren't normally one to overreact, they put a bomb under the bicycle seat of Tommy Lee. They also try to firebomb the Lee's house, and amongst other just real shitty activities. Tommy's sister Roberta eventually clocks something weird. She recognizes the team-issued sneakers that one of the people in the hoods is wearing because her brother has the exact same pair. If you're gonna commit hate crimes, maybe don't wear the shoes that everyone else in your team wears. I mean, that would have just been like, you know, the first thing. Meanwhile, Clark Kent's obviously flying around saving the day doing his thing, but he's also extremely conflicted by the Klan because as much as he hates what they're doing, he also starts to have his own insecurities about the fact that he himself is an alien. Remember, this is 1940. They're trying to equate everything with everything. Nothing can just be what it is. But typical Superman stuff, trying to fit in, save lives, and deal with cosmic trauma at the same time. Things escalate when they kidnap Tommy Lee. The original plan is to tar and feather him. His sister Roberta runs down to the Daily Planet and tries to get in touch with Jimmy Olsen, who's like Superman's little, you know, confidant type dude. There's lots of comics about him that no one read. He's a little ginger kid who knows that Superman is Superman. He tells Roberta this is slightly above my pay grade, goes and tells Clark Kent, who says this is also slightly above my pay grade and does the whole false modesty thing, and then eventually disappears, puts the cape on, and it's time to kick some ass. Roberta exposes Chuck as Klan adjacent, and they eventually squeeze out of him where the super secret boy band has their little cosplay meetups. Superman swoops in and saves Tommy, who has now, for whatever reason, been thrown into a river. They had to keep radio interesting back in the day, so from him being kidnapped to tar and feathered to thrown in a river and he's almost drowning, it's just cliffhangers for days. So there's a lot of back and forth where Superman's fighting the Klan over the next 16 episodes, and eventually what happens is the Grand Scorpion brings a kryptonite bazooka to one of the baseball games, because subtlety is just not something they do here. He storms onto the field with his bazooka and announces the Klan's last stand in front of a bunch of 10-year-olds with their little baseball bats and snacks. And his nephew Chuck rolls up behind him and absolutely smokes him in the back of the head with a baseball bat, knocking him unconscious. Apparently there was some stuff that happened halfway through the story. Superman showed up late and was unable to fly. He got shot with a kryptonite arrow or something. The whole thing is actually available on YouTube if you look for it. It's Superman versus the KKK. It's fantastic. So not now. Don't move. It's not now. Once this is finished, once we're done here. And apparently lead, according to this, is kryptonite repellent. But I mean, if we know anything about the 40s and 50s and lead, people just trusted it way too much. And there's so many kids that died of lead poisoning. So I think we're just going to glance over that. Matt pulls one last trick. He's got a suicide bomb strapped to his chest. But once again, Superman saves the day and Matt goes to jail. Because that's what Superman does. He saves people even when they don't deserve it. So what has Supes done here? 9 times out of 10, the bad guys lose anyway. But what he's done is he's taken on a real life organization and completely embarrassed them. He could have gone in full heat vision, fists flying. He could have demolished them in seconds, but he chose to back off and play his cards right so that he could expose all of their secrets, rituals, and secret boy band bullshit. Turns out Klan meetings, not exactly Fort Knox. They hold them in pretty open places and you can just rock up without anyone noticing. And their secret handshake was more like dumb teenage boys trying to bro down with the older kids at school. Oh, what's up, man? Yeah, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, man? What's up? Yeah, it's good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yeah, we'll catch up. Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Superman spent the entire story, outside of a few ass whoopings, revealing their secrets, revealing their passwords, and essentially just shining a light on how dumb this entire thing is. Real Klan members were actually livid about this. Their power comes from secrecy and fear, and Superman had done everything over the course of 16 episodes to make sure that people weren't afraid anymore. He made them look like cosplaying losers who forgot the point. The KKK's recruitment numbers plummeted by 35%. People who were thinking about joining after hearing this extremely popular radio show thought to themselves, maybe I don't want to be part of a secret society where the aim is to be a huge piece of shit. The impact of these 16 episodes was massive. Not only did it hurt the Klan's recruitment numbers, it also showed that pop culture could punch way above its weight. This wasn't some throwaway soap opera. This was Superman, America's ultimate symbol of justice and patriotism, taking a genuine stand against evil. So the next time someone tells you that superheroes and pop culture shouldn't get political, remind them that Superman almost single-handedly helped to drop the recruitment numbers of one of America's biggest terrorist organizations by over a third. These episodes took 2 weeks, by the way. 2 weeks. Every single night they had a part 1 and a part 2. And this one point in American pop culture history helped to change thousands, if not tens of thousands of views of young people and how they viewed racism. This is 1946 as well, right in the middle of one of the widespread and rigidly enforced eras of the Jim Crow laws. At the end of the day, this story stands for one thing and one thing only. When you call out hate for the sad, insecure garbage that it is, you win. Superman didn't just fight aliens and mad scientists and bald billionaires. He was fighting ignorance and bigotry and a bunch of dudes in robes who thought they were way more intimidating than they are. They look like paper airplanes. That's all I can see when I look at their fucking stupid costumes. They just look like paper airplanes. So when you hear about Superman's greatest battles, don't think about Doomsday or Brainiac. Remember the time that he absolutely demolished the KKK on national radio, because sometimes the best weapon is plain old mockery. Ladies and gentlemen, new videos every single fortnight, so make sure you hit that like and that subscribe button. I'm also on Tickers and IG and all those things. Yeah, good. Solid effort. Thank you so much for your views over the last couple of videos. I've never hit numbers like this before on YouTube, so I think you guys are starting to like the content. I hope you are. Leave a comment and let me know. Peace and have a good day.
The past is sacred. I found more than I expected.